For persons in the Waterloo region wishing to assist in relief donations after Hurricane Melissa, the Caribbean Canadian Association of the Waterloo region is accepting donations. So the CCAWR is collecting essential items to support youth and families affected by Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica. Many of our community members have loved ones directly impacted, and together we can make a difference. Requested items are non-perishable foods, toiletries and body lotion, diapers and baby supplies, gently used clothing, sneakers and sandals, sleeping bags and blankets. Drop-off location will be at the SDG Idea Factory, 2 King Street West, Kitchener, Ontario. For those wishing to donate online, CCAWR has partnered with the Jamaican Canadian Association, the JCA, to support trusted on-the-ground relief efforts. Let us stand together as one Caribbean community, both at home and abroad, to bring comfort, care, and hope to families. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world or whatever time you'll be watching this video. So guys, I haven't really made one of these videos in a very long time, but with the recent happenings, the recent devastation of our beautiful nugget in the Caribbean, Jamaica, man, seeing the pictures, seeing the videos, hearing the stories of everyone who has been impacted, it just breaks the heart. My family is okay. One side of my family, they're okay. They're, from the Kingston side. So they were just a little bit inconvenienced, just with electricity and the internet. So that's the least of the issues. And my mother-in-law is on the other end of the island, where we couldn't get any info on, from, off about her, because she's in Hanover. And I was scouting videos, persons who were doing TikTok videos, location, whatever it is that they were doing on social media, TikTok and Facebook. And I was asking questions of them about her area, but she's in one of those little districts that's off the main, so most persons were doing videos of persons there, basically on the mains and stuff. So, but thank goodness we did get some proof of life from her through friends, and she's okay, just minor water damage inside, just water coming in from the windows and a little bit from the roof. But right now they're still basically cut off. They have no electricity, no internet, but she's doing well. She's taking it in strides, in her nice spirits and stuff. So we're happy for that. So now that big worry is off our hands, because we couldn't do anything but wait and worry until we could get some information on her. So now that we know that she's okay, Now we can put our heads and hands together so that we can do our little part to assist those in need back home, right? And I'm in the Kitchener-Waterloo area, so I'll be I found this organization from another person on TikTok who she was doing, the videos trying to connect persons with their loved ones. So I saw her put up the Canadian Caribbean Association. I'm gonna put up their poster here for relief for Jamaica, that if anyone in the Kitchener-Waterloo area and wants to make a donation to help with the hurricane relief. I'll also be putting up the link to the government of Jamaica, their official website, on persons who wish to donate back home. So I'll be posting those links right here in the video and also at the end of the video for persons who wish to contribute to helping our fallen brothers and sisters back home. And man, it is so, honestly, so devastating to see and hear. And some of the videos you see, there are certain parts of Westmoreland, it just seemed as if it was just wiped off the map. It was as if you took an eraser and just erase it from Jamaica. Those communities that we see where nothing is left, just seems like a tornado or several tornadoes just hit and just decimated all the houses and stuff. And I'm looking, and I get to understand, because I mainly grew up in I was born in Manchester, but I was raised in Kingston, right? So just like much of our Jamaicans, when you're born somewhere, you basically don't know a lot about other areas of the island. So beyond Mandeville, I don't know a lot. Of course I know the parishes and stuff, but otherwise don't really necessarily know certain parts of the country. And we go on our little vacations and excursions, to Ocho Rios, Montego Bay and all that stuff. But for certain places, if we don't need to go certain places, we just know that they're there, right? But when you look at the Westmoreland and the Black River, and you're hearing all of these stories, and even some parts of Montego Bay, Catherine Hall, Estuary, when I'm seeing all these videos, guys, my heart breaks, right? And you get to understand that in Black River, a lot of the houses, why there's so many board houses in Black River, is because excuse me, guys. It's because a lot of persons, they're on leased land. So they're on leased land, so you can't make a concrete structure. But when you see these persons that they have lost everything, oh man, and you hear the stories of the older folks, the women, the children, the babies, I can't even single out anyone at this point, because it's everybody. When you see that the Good Samaritans and the security forces that they go and they do rescue efforts, there was one image I saw, and it was of a young man, and he was hugging one of the male police officers, And I get the caption on it was that apparently the police officers, they rescued him from drowning. And guys, I tell you that is one of the images that broke me again, because of course you all know that most Jamaican men, you know, are so homophobic that they wouldn't be holding, much less hugging another male, you know, even if it's their family members. You know, Jamaican men just don't necessarily do that. But when you see this young man hugging this police officer tight, and this is in the office, it's not as if it's outside, you know what I mean? It was inside the office, and you can see he's crying. Guys, there's gonna be so much emotional turmoil, so much depression, so much anxiety, so much trauma that our citizens are going to face, or are facing right now, because of what has happened to them, right? It's not a small matter of, you know, the rain fell and you're flooded out. You know, flooding out is one, but when you have lost everything, you lost your entire house. The house was just blown away, as in the story of the Three Little Pigs, right? Like the big bad wolf came and huffed and puffed and just blow your house down. And these people have nothing, and because some of the areas are remote, it's taking a very long time for them to get assistance, right? Because a lot of the assistance is getting to to the, for lack of a better word, the urban areas of these parishes, right? But not the little communities that are away from the town centers and stuff. So, you know, people who are in the hills, who are in, you know, further back in the bushes, that have no way out. There was a story of, there was a family who, I think they were in Westmoreland, I believe, and where they were located was far off the path. And a gentleman called the platform to say that, you know, there are 4 persons who were living there, but 1 person had already expired, and the other 3, 1 person was bedridden, 1 person had a disability, and I think the other person had asthma. And the person calling saying that they're begging for help because the remaining 3 were basically hanging on to life. And when you see people calling to reach out, because of course we know the government, they can do what they can within whatever time. And I know a lot of persons are extremely impatient, or I don't want to say unreasonable, but are very impatient, because I see persons are saying, why the government doesn't, you know, get a helicopter, or how come the government doesn't reach these people as yet. But they're not understanding that the entire country was decimated. There are no roads. There's nowhere for vehicles to traverse to get to certain areas. Main roads, regular thoroughfare those roadways have totally collapsed. I see some roads and I'm like, was this a river before? Because the water has dug away so much of the surface and even underground. Guys, it's just awful. So of course the government, they have to, you know, go around and do their assessment. The hurricane can finish today, and then you expect that tomorrow they start issuing or handing out supplies and start rebuilding and getting this and that, because there's nowhere for them to go. There's nowhere for them to travel. I see police, they're saying, oh, they can use helicopters, but the helicopters have to assess certain places, and not because you see certain areas seem as if, they're wide areas. You guys have to also realize that the helicopters, you have to make sure that the ground is safe for the helicopter to land. You have to make sure that there are no debris around, because of course the blades of the helicopter will be rotating, so you have to make sure that when the blades rotate, that it doesn't pick up any debris that is going to injure anyone in or around the helicopter. So it's not as simple as getting a helicopter and go here, there. You have to think about the trees that are around, anything that's around, and we have to realize it's a lot of loose stuff that's around the country. So as much as we would like, instantaneous assistance, we have to be realistic in knowing that it's not going to happen. You have a lot of hospitals, even some of the shelters that persons, that the government had for people. Some of the shelters, even some of those got destroyed in the hurricane. Right? We're getting the aid from all over the world. And people have to realize that, yes, the aid is coming in, but there still has to be a process, and there has to be some accountability. You can't just get the aid and just start issuing them immediately. We have to think. We have to use some critical thinking, guys, in seeing how everything is going to have to take place. If we look at America, in Hurricane Sandy, I believe it was, or Katrina, America is a first world country, and in some places it took up to 3 weeks for them to reach some citizens. And America is a first world country, and they have all the resources you can think of, and it took them up to 3 weeks to reach some places. So we have Jamaica, we're getting the resources, and I know I'm not trying to make light of any situation, because I know people are hungry, people are dying, and it would be nice if we could do a lot more to help each other. As much as some of the videos I see on TikTok, they're helpful in trying to locate our persons and stuff. I saw yes, guys, we're back. So when I saw that gentleman, and how he was hugging and holding on to the security, man, I tell you, my heart broke, because as I said, Jamaican men don't hug men. I expect men who are not the family, especially men who are not their family. And when I saw him hugging him so tight, I'm like, oh gosh. And then we have some of our social media personnel, they're doing their good deeds using their platforms, to get assistance from their supporters in rendering aid to our brothers and sisters. And I'm just so disappointed in some of us. I'm extremely disappointed in some of us as Jamaicans, because I'm saying, in the face of so much adversity, right? You have some persons trying their best to assist in whatever way that they can, and then you have some people who aren't doing anything. They're sitting in their warm houses, their comfy sofas, their cozy beds, with food and water to eat light. They're not worrying about their family getting sick, and all they're doing is criticizing those who are trying to help. It doesn't matter what kind of help our brothers and sisters are doing. At least they're getting help. So for those of you who are just sitting on social media and criticizing, guys, come on. No is not the time. We should be putting aside our differences, and just have a nice, safe space on social media, because it just looks so awful to the outside world. It looks awful to us who are in the diaspora. But then how you guys think outsiders are going to look at us, right? You have people from all over the world leaving their families, their jobs, their families, to come and assist us in our time of need. And then we are the same ones sitting down on social media, bitching and moaning and bad mouthing, and just basically being ungrateful to the help that's being provided to our fellow citizens. I mean, don't you guys look into yourselves? Just look into yourselves, and I don't know. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. Then you have people, dictating how, what, when, where people should assist, donate, contribute. I mean, if you think that a donation should go to, whatever, say Black River. If you are not donating your money, you can't dictate where people should spend their monies, especially when they're doing voluntary help. The government is responsible for, sharing out the resources that are being received. So when private entities are offering their assistance, you in the background can't be telling the private persons how they should distribute their supplies. If you want something to be given somewhere specific, then you do it yourself. Simple. And a lot of persons, the immediate need, well, there are a lot of immediate needs, but people need food and water. Those are the immediate, because they have been without food and water for days. And there's a lot of food and water from the outside of Jamaica, from the aid that other countries have given to Jamaica, as well as persons inside Jamaica. They're giving a lot of food and water. So a lot of that is there. It just has to take time. The government has to have some accountability in how they disperse all of this aid, because if the government just come and give, as the stuff come in, they just start handing them over without, of course, making an having some accountability for the stuff. They have to put them in a system. They have to have some accountability, right? Because if the government doesn't do that, remember, they have to show whomever is donating all of these, how the aid was dispersed, right? They don't just get them in hand and then give it out immediately. There needs to be accountability so that people will see that the stuff was dispersed and how they were dispersed, right? So a lot of people who are thinking that, the government should just give some. No, it's not like that. They have to itemize and check everything, right? Because if this isn't done, then the same people who are saying the government is taking too long, if this isn't done, they're the same ones who are going to come back and say the government didn't disperse the stuff equally, or the government have some of it in their pocket, or they gave it to their friends. So, damned if they do, damned if they don't. But there's an order, there's a process that has to go through before things can be done. So, for those who are helping now, we have to be considerate of them. And, everybody who is sitting down behind their phone screens and jibber-jabbering and not doing anything, you guys need to stop it. You guys need to stop it. There are other persons who are giving supplies for rebuilding houses. They're giving, cement and board, and stuff, so that people can start rebuilding their homes. Ideally, yes, we, would prefer to not have wooden houses, but have concrete structures. But again, some people are living on leased land or captured land, so they can't build a concrete structure. But either which way, if a concrete structure is easier to build right now, then at least it will shield, have some temporary shield, right? And then once they're back on their feet, they can start building the concrete structure, but at least they will be indoors, right? And so whatever people can give, there's a lot of, as I said, lots of food, and there will be lots of building supplies that's in the island now for people to give. So I see a lot of people who I see Miss Donna, who has her initiative that come January, starting in January, she wants to start, her initiative is starting giving back people like appliances and furniture and stuff, because we all know that people will be getting food, clothing, like building supplies to help them right now. But until people can really get back on their feet, a little bit of comfort, a little bit of humanity,
take exit 2.
It would be good for them to get back some sense of humanity. Get a little fan, get a little kettle to boil water, a pot to cook in, a plate to cook in, because these people have lost every God Almighty thing, every striking thing they own. So if we leave those things up, where are they going to get the money to buy these things? And at the time, when they're ready, when they have rebuilt their houses or a little room or whatever, when they're ready for these things, they may not be available. The prices, they will cost too much for them to buy. So, if her initiative, because she did make donations before the hurricane, she made donations after the hurricane, and she has this initiative of to assist people with appliances and furniture for when they start getting their houses.
I don't see anything wrong with that. You people are making a big deal out of someone who has the foresight, and you people need to start thinking beyond your noses. I think that is why a lot of us Jamaicans get left behind, because we don't look, think, or plan ahead. We only plan for today, not tomorrow, not next week. That is why we get left behind. You have to look ahead. She's thinking ahead that, yeah, people are going to get a little wooden structure or whatever now. But then at the end of the day, some people, they're not going to have beds, because she's asking for beds and all of that too. When if and when the government build houses or anything like that, they don't give beds. Some of these people will be out of jobs. So when they start getting back the little money, if they get a job, instead of focusing on buying back all these things, they can think about continuing to rebuild their homes or try and buy food. You're in the house, you're hot, you're gonna need a little fan to try and cool you down, or fan away the mosquitoes that we know will be coming. It's just basic humanity, and everyone is having an issue. I see some people are commenting that why is she going to have the stuff put on at her house, until why not have them delivered directly to the people? Guys, for the love of God, use your smartphones wisely. Get off the mix-up sites or the mix-up channels, and use your phones wisely. They're called smartphones. You can't let the smartphone be beating you left, right, and center, man. If I don't know. I shake my head and I scratch my head, because I'm saying these are charity or charitable acts, right? Just as how you have charitable acts of other persons going on and giving food bags. You don't know who we are going to give things to. You don't know where anybody live. You don't know anybody, but you're just gathering supplies to take to persons in need. So how in the blue blazes is she going to have the whatever stores deliver the goods to the people? Who are they going to deliver it to? Where are they going to deliver it to? Do the people live anywhere right now? Guys, me a beg you no, do. Stop make your smartphone beat you no, man. Use the smartphone wisely. Google dede. You can Google anything you want Google, we tell you no. And stop take every shit that people tell you as gospel. You can look for information on yourself. If one person come out and tell you, say, just like how we hear the bull crap when we talk about the storm is man-made and Andrew this and Andrew that. If all you have to do are Google, and you will have meteorologists come on and tell you how the system was formed and what happened in the system. And you say, no, I know so it go. But somebody come on and start telling no crap. Who God knows they can't even spell meteorologist, meteorologist. And you guys believe that person over the scientists. Right? And I must use on a head, man. And I must use on a head. And stop thinking that everybody are going to thief something. Other people just have a problem with even Miss Donna will have a problem with Miss Donna. Why is she going to keep the stuff at her house? It is her initiative that she is doing. If you no want nothing to go, are you donating anything? Are you donating anything? You see, all of you guys who think that people are thieves, you're not a thief on yourself, you know. God know. You're not a thief on yourself, you know, because you're thief think about certain things that other people are going to thief, you know. And I say thief never love is a thief with long bag. Because why you guys can't think that somebody is doing something genuine? You know, the lady do her things, she show transparency and what she do, and you know, see it, you know. You know, see what she do. Yet still, you know, listen to people who not like her for whatever reason. Say she thief and she this and that, and you not have no proof of that, you know. But yet still, you know, follow it. Even though why may I tell you somebody can spitting on your eye and tell us the rain of fall and wanna believe it. God Almighty no man. No man. Someone need to go back to school. Someone need school bad because I can't. Me not really want to call on no fool, you know. Me not want to call on no stupid. Me not want to call on no idiot. But no man, sometimes you have to call a spade. And uno are the mothers of the future. Uno are raised picnic. Eh? Oh, Jesus. Me see some of the comments them and say why she don't make them deliver them to the people them. And the lady never said is for now. The lady said is for December when she start do her thing when she go back to Jamaica. So January, February thereabouts when she start doing something them. And I not even think say, you know, if she start the initiative now, right, for people who live a foreign. Remember, you know, everybody basically live hand to mouth. So if people want help, right, people have to go start do their little budgeting, right, and say, well, me can only afford to buy one fan, you know. But this month me have the X bills to pay. Next month me have X bills to pay. So alright, me can save $10 this month. Me can save $20 this month. By the time January come, you have one next, you know, $5 or whatever. So you have how much that? $50. So alright. So this is $150. And me can use this $50. This is all me can afford. And me can buy one iron or something. Right? And you put towards it. Because enough people, especially people are foreign, people are live hand to mouth. So the government shut down enough people out of job over a month now. But people still are willing to help. So you have to give people advance notice for them do them look up budgeting, or thanks what you call it, Black Friday coming up, where people can look for things on sale. Christmas are come, people can look for things on sale and buy them. So at least you get a little $5 or $3 off of the something them, you know. So it make it better for your pocket, right? And now when you can get the something them, you can, you know, drop them off at Miss Donna house or wherever she have people for drop them off. You can get free shipping. Like, no, because if you don't think free shipping is going to go on forever and ever, amen, you don't make a sad mistake. Because when she ready, like January, February thereabouts, for the something them, prices are gonna go up. Right? We know the something them are gonna get more expensive. And then when the things are bought, you don't really think say there is going to be free delivery them time of the year there. You don't think no man. You don't think and just stop make we look so bad on the world stage. Because God Almighty know. Anybody who don't know the things that Jamaicans don't have no sense. Like them, we don't make it look like we're born back of God, we're born back of bush. We don't use no brain, man. Not because the thought not come from someone, but just because one of the things that the lady come from, just because the lady, you know, living in the ghetto, no things she don't have no sense. Enough people come from ghetto and they use them brain. education doesn't equate intelligence, you know, because you have some people with education and then done not farting and they don't know nothing about life. They don't know nothing about life. So everybody play them part, man. I wanna stop with the goddamn bullshit, man. Everything people do, wanna sit down on social media, and wanna nitpick and wanna find fault. Then God and God do it on yourself. The country is in a dire state. And before put on hands and heart together and help do something, just sit down on social media and tear apart the people them who are try help. Go do something, I tell you, someone just sick stomach, man. Someone just sick stomach. Even like a help that people are get in them trying times, yeah. Block the people them blessing. Block the people them blessing, you know. Make people no want donate, make people no want do nothing because of vile mouth. No, sir. No, sir. And please, for the love of God, use your phone and teach yourself things. Use your phone and make your phone, go on some knowledge. And a lot of you guys sit down and claim everything with the government. Yeah, the government get this money, the government get that money. So I hope the government dish out the money. I wonder if you guys know that the cat bond, right? Because me not think no phone no knowing up. And me I tell you, all of you guys are gonna be in for a rude awakening. Because I think a lot of you think like with the cat bond is going to be giving money to the citizens who have them house mash up and all them things. That is not what the cat bond is for, guys. The cat bond is to assist with rebuilding the country. Right? So, has to rebuild the house them. Sorry, not the house them. The hospitals, the roads, infrastructures, government buildings, all them things there. Right? It have a backup for the insurance purposes. So it is not, the government have programs where them, provide housing and stuff, but it is not to give back people. It's not like say with that cat bond and those monies mean to the government are gonna go and say, all right, you have 10 people who are 100 people who lose their house, yeah, so in a Black River, here is the money to build back those houses. No. And I saw it go. You have a house, you're supposed to have home insurance. That is what home insurance is for. Or if you go, pray say get little assistance from other people to build back on a house. The cat band is not to give people money to build back house and if you go buy food. So sometimes instead of I run up and down on social media and sit down and all do I listen to the fart where people are chat on social media. Using the phone and Google if you hear say cat band instead of waiting on somebody to come tell you what a cat band is. Go on social media and Google it on yourself and see what a cat band is used for. Because the whole of look like things so the cat band means that sit down and wait for the government come go on a handout. And so it go. It is unfortunate that a lot of people lost their houses, but it's have a rude awakening. But seriously, man, we need to do better as a people. We need to do better as a people. People are dying. People are hungry. People have lost everything. People are desolate. People are depressed. You know how much people probably take them life after this because of the depression and the desolation them will go through? And you have people out there who are trying to assist in helping them fellow men. And all you people choose to do is sit down on social media and block people blessing. Anybody who want help, let them help however they can, whenever they can. People need the help. Jesus, man.